Here we see the two most common forms of the mini wave that you would find in the wild. The larger white one is the Modcan incarnation, and next to it, the smaller black-faced model is the Blasset version. The mini wave is interesting because it allows you to install these programmable EEPROM chips. Here you see the socket rocket chip, as well as the quantizer chip. In the Modcan version here, I have Grant Richter's PPG Prophet VS chip from Highlander and the standard mini wave chip. The Modcan version differs from the Blasset version in that it has an internal onboard oscillator. The Blasset version does require another oscillator if you wish to use it for LFO or VCO functions. To patch the Blasset mini wave as a VCO 8-bit wavetable, I'll be using the Blasset VCO saw output to drive the mini wave. So saw to mini wave in, and then the mini wave out is going to go to my mixer and VCA. When using the Modcan mini wave as a VCO, we simply patch the output into our mixer. So when using the mini wave as a distortion device, it's best to amplify your signal coming in beforehand. In this case, I'm using a Blasset 2225 input-output device, in particular the preamp section of that module, to boost the level coming into the modular. In this case, I'm just using a drum loop from Reason, actually. It's going to come in and come into the mini wave, of course, and then the output will be fed into the mixer. In this case, I'm going to use my Blasset version of the mini wave because this has the socket rocket ROM installed, which has some of the better wavetables perhaps for distortion applications. In this portion of the demonstration, we're going to illustrate using the mini wave as a LFO. As a sound source, I'm going to use one of the VCOs from the unfortunately now defunct Modcan 46B dual analog LFO. I'm going to take the mix out. I have the AB switch all the way down, so it's only a single square wave we're hearing. I'm going to put it into the mixer. Then I'm going to take the output of the mini wave and I'll just patch that into the pitch so that you'll be able to easily hear the modulation from the mini wave. That'll go to the 1 volt per octave. I'll give you a demonstration of the sound. I'll show you how fast the mini wave can go. We control that with the rate knob and the octave range control into fairly supersonic territory. Some people might find that the mini wave doesn't go as slow as they want. What you can do is use an offset voltage to extend the range of the mini wave by plugging it into the mod CV in. In this case, I'm going to use the dual mixer over here. It has an offset voltage, so with nothing going in, I'm just going to take the mix out, and you'll see me partway through plug that into the mod N and use the mod amount to extend the range of the mini wave as an LFO down into very slow territory. You really hear it as an 8-bit device here. You'll hear the stepping is very noticeable. Another fun thing to do with the mini wave is to use it as a quantizer. So here you can see on screen we have the dual VCO, the mini wave, the mod can noise sample and hold ring mod, which I'm going to use to generate a random voltage, and the mixer, which goes down to my VCA. I'll start out by making sure I have a clock source. You can hear all my cables rattling. The clock source comes into my sample and hold on the noise here, and I'm going to clock the white noise out. I like to use the white noise instead of just the random out because the white level actually acts as a range control on the noise, which is nice. So we're going to be listening to the output of the dual oscillator here. It's going to go into channel 1 on the mixer. I'm going to actually copy the output, my noise that I'm going to get out of here, the white noise going into the sample and hold. I'm going to take the output of the clock sample and hold. It's going to go off screen over here to my mult, and I'm going to bring that back. I'm going to feed the naked unquantized sample and held noise to the 1 volt per octave on oscillator A of the dual ModCan 46B, and then I'm going to take the other copy and feed that to the mini wave. External input, mini wave set to quantize to the +5 volt setting. The standard mini wave is in bank A here, so I have it set to bank 15 of chip A, sorry, not bank chip. And then the quantized output of that will go to the 1 volt per octave B. So I should be able to pan back and forth with the A and B mix here on the dual VCO to show you the results of the quantized 1 volt per octave output of the sample and hold and the unquantized 1 volt per octave of the sample and hold. So one of the other cool things you can do with the MiniWave, thanks to a thread by Babaluma on muffler.com, is use the LEDs as voltage indicators. What you'll see I'm going to do is take an LFO, and I'll first plug it into the Blasset bar graph here so you can see the movement on the screen. Let me get the cable out of the way there. Up and down, like Kit for all you hipsters on here. And I'm going to take a copy of that and put it into the CVN on the Blasset MiniWave. And if I can kind of get the cables out of the way there, you'll see that the LEDs are responding, giving you a voltage indicator or some visual feedback of your levels. And this will work for either one. If I go into the CV on level 2 here, you also see it. Perhaps I need to recalibrate mine to get the full range, but interesting little trick you can do. Fun for the kids. Hope you enjoy. Here's the same trick with the ModCan version plugged into the bank CV. I'm using the ModCan Quad LFO, so as I turn up the level on the LFO, you'll start to see the LEDs respond, indicating the peak signal level that I'm reaching. You'll see if I increase the rate of the LFO driving them, the LEDs begin to cycle faster or slower. Again, up to the full peak range, maybe a little slower. You can see it count up and down. Another nice thing about the ModCan implementation of the MiniWave is the inclusion of mod mount here, a way to add some CV to the audio when using its internal oscillator. What I'm actually feeding to the mod in is the other Blasset MiniWave in LFO mode being driven by a VCO. So you'll see I can negative or positive amount.